Going back to your original investing strategy, I know you do mostly invest in Boston. Is there a reason now you never try to invest out of state where maybe cash flow might have been higher?
I just feel like it's a good question. So, why Boston? Boston is number one. It's my backyard, and I do believe that you should invest in something that you truly understand. I know a lot of other investors. There are a lot of investors that invest out of state. They look at cash flow numbers. The reason I like Boston, not only because I live here and I grew up here and I really know the neighborhood, but also because we have a solid. The economics are solid, right? And I tell people, I probably said this 1,000 times already, but if the market takes a 10% dip, but your kid gets accepted to Harvard University, are you going to find the money to send your kid to Harvard?
Hmm.
Absolutely. If your kid gets accepted to MIT, but the market is down 10%, you're still going to find the money to send your kid to MIT. Northeastern University, Suffolk University, Wentworth, the pharmacy schools. We have some of the best institutions here, some of the best hospitals here in the world. And with that, people come and they stay from all over the world, and they don't leave. Our population is growing. There's a serious demand for housing. I think it was just a couple of years ago, the mayor called for roughly 70,000 new units that were needed in terms of housing within the city of Boston. So there is a strong demand. And even when the rest of the country takes a little bit of a dip, Boston doesn't seem to take that same, right? I mean, might have Florida or Arizona or some of the more communities where people tend to flock to when things are good, pull away hard when things are not so good. Boston is not one of those communities. It tends to be pretty stable, and you couple that with our rent growth, it is absolutely insane. It's just a great market to be in. Very tough to get into, but once you're in, it's just a great market to be in. So that's why I've looked at some other markets. I've tangled. I've done some things up, but my primary focus is that Boston market, just because there's still so much opportunity here. Our housing stock is super old as well. Most of our housing stock was built 100 years ago, so there are a lot of homes that still need considerable amount of work and opportunity to kind of come in at a decent price. I wouldn't say a low price, because here in Boston nothing's low, but a decent price, and still create some equity for the long term. So I would say at the end of the day, it's the economics, it's the jobs, the schools, and the rent and population growth that we still have here.